Welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller,
And my name's Brett Parnell.
and we have episode 5 of Survivor 49. What are your kind of overall thoughts on this episode?
Um, Overall thoughts on the episode. Um, Decent challenges. We've got some good alliance play going on. I think you made a great first round pick because we're getting so much content from Savannah that it's obvious that she's going both to 50, but that she's going to be around for a very long time. We have chickens on the beach again, which is always entertaining. And we're really starting to see both contrasting styles, I would say, with certain players that see playing the game as trying to be very aggressive and maybe thinking that other players are not trying. And in reality, those players might be trying in a much more subtle way that could come at your own detriment. But we'll have to see in the next episode or two.
Yeah, excuse me. And so diving in, my first notes are from the next morning. We're at Kella Beach, and Shannon has this idea for this Core 6 alliance with 2 people from each tribe. And she's pitching it to Steven and then to Alex. And this is a lot right off the bat.
Yeah, it was. This is smart if it works, but I don't know in Survivor who will be actually go for something like this. Because even though you're pitching a 6 and it's 2-2-2 and it sounds like, okay, this is our way to the finale, if I make all of the time and effort to get on Survivor, I'm not playing just to be in the finale.
Yeah.
I'm playing to win the game. And do I want to make an alliance where I don't have a numbers advantage in the sub alliance? Yeah, like other players say, of course I'll go along with it. You never say no to an alliance in Survivor, but it doesn't mean that it's something that I'm actually going to put my trust in. And I think Shannon might be that player that I just mentioned in trying to do a little too much.
I think she definitely is based on the reaction we got from Steven right after this scene,
Yeah,
where he goes and tells MC about Shannon and they both start to see her as a threat.
yeah.
And then we get an interesting confessional from Christine who tells us that she likes Shannon and wants to fight for her, but also has to take inventory of the game and if that could backfire for her own game,
Exactly.
which is really smart.
And we're at a point where we also have not seen this tribe in its new form ever have to go to tribal councils. So if they inevitably lose, alliances could really shake up all over the place from anything we've seen so far.
I think if they lose, she's gone in an almost unanimous vote based on how things are trending.
From what we've seen so far, I'd be inclined to agree with you, but we're also therefore missing maybe 1.5, 3 hours of television. Maybe they don't lose till the merge.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so we move to Hina, and we see Jason talking about how he wants to erase tribal lines and
No
and
wonder.
break this Hina versus Uli mindset.
No wonder the guy that has no one on his original tribe wants to erase tribal lines.
Yeah.
The only way I think that he could be onto something there, and I mean at this point, the bigger Uli alliance has already pulled Savannah in. But if, say, someone like Jawan and Nate both felt on the bottom of that alliance and maybe saw Savannah as higher with saw Sophie as higher than them, but with Savannah and Rizzo, that could be seen as a threat. But if that doesn't come across, Jason's in trouble at this point. I mean, he's been in trouble since last week.
I think if they go to tribal next episode, it's Jawan that's gone.
Yeah, I would agree with
It
you.
was almost him this week.
Yeah.
So that's all we get there. Going back to Kella, kind of a fun scene. Alex gets a crab.
He does.
And as he's doing this, Sage is watching Shannon do her thing, give Alex the same pitch and the same "you're someone I want to work with" speech that she gave Steven. And Sage is telling us in a confessional how Shannon's approach is finding something that someone values and hitting hard on that in conversations and making them feel comfortable. And I wrote down, like, she's doing it too much with every single person, but that's a smart strategy to build alliance.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just can't do that with every single person or they'll compare notes.
That's it.
Just like Swati in 42 giving us a montage of her telling everyone they're her number one.
And I think maybe that's the big difference with Survivor today versus Survivor a long time ago is that people do more than just strategize with each other, compare with each other about what did everybody else say.
Yeah.
Because we see, like in All Stars, Rob makes an alliance with pretty much everyone in the game.
Yeah.
But there isn't really anybody out there saying, like, let's say, Alicia going to Cheyenne and the two of them going to Rupert and saying, Rob's promised all of us Final Four.
Yeah.
There's just Rob going to Final Two.
There was only one person Rob had a true allegiance to that season.
Yeah.
One should have known that.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And so, right after we see this from Sage, we see Steven cluing in Alex that Shannon talked to him and to everyone else. And the two of them and Sage kind of all meet up, like compare notes on the beach. And as wow, what we see next is that boats show up to the camps.
They do.
And so
And it's time for a journey.
MC goes for Kella. But New Hina is interesting with deciding their journey, weren't they?
Yeah, that was interesting in that Jawan is essentially able to rig the random draw. Very smart on his behalf.
What happens is Jason volunteers first, and then they don't want him to go, so Savannah and Nate both volunteer. And so Jawan goes, "Okay, I'll go get rocks. We'll do a rock draw." And he gets two black ones and a white one, I think, or two white ones and a black one, and puts them in his hand where the different colored one is on top, and then gives Nate the first draw so that he'll take the fancy one.
Yeah.
Brilliant
from Jawan. I'm surprised, though, that I almost wonder if maybe we didn't see it, but could this have been pre-planned because Nate does take the top one? I don't know about you, but usually when people decide, like, saying that they're working a raffle to pull one ticket, they mix them up a little bit before.
Oh, really? Yeah, a little bit. I've seen that.
I thought this was brilliant, but I thought it was smart from. I don't know if it was ever brought up by Jawan to Nate of if we have to draw rocks, pull the top one, but Nate just goes in and grabs the first one, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which was smart.
I agree.
So well done. Now, this could be interesting, though, going forward. Because what do you think, Bruce? After we've seen this, will anybody ever trust the tribe with drawing rocks that aren't done by production ever again?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
That's a good question. And so we go on our journey, and the way it works is the two of them walk up, MC and Nate. Boy. And they walk up, and there's this big pile of heavy sandbags, and they have to move them all from one spot down the beach to another spot. before the hourglass runs out. And if
Very
they
similar
don't
to
do
like the
that, they
log
lose their
challenge in
vote.
Winners at War.
Do what?
Similar concept to the log challenge in Winners at War.
Exactly. Just shorter trip.
Yeah. And we're not on Edge because Edge is now a private island that they built a house on.
Oh, really?
There was a thing in Survivor Fan Jury maybe 2 years ago or whatever that Fijian real estate developer was selling Edge of Extinction
Huh.
and turned it into some old rich person's private island, I assume.
Oh my gosh, we should go live there and make that a recording island. That would be
Hey,
fantastic.
maybe it's an Airbnb.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
We could actually go stay on Edge of Extinction. Wow.
It's
Interesting that they
possible.
sold it. They could always bring Edge back as a twist and just use another island for it.
Oh yeah, of course.
But that's interesting. I didn't know they had done that. So we also see Nate is kind of smart. He's using this journey and like this time carrying sandbags as a chance to get to know MC a little bit.
Yeah, very smart. Yeah, absolutely. Very smart. You always want to use any opportunity you can to build relationships with the other tribe. Because this is 26 Day Survivor. We're going to be merged in maybe 72 hours.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. I love it. And she's kind of out of breath. She's not able to like for a while keep up the conversation as much as I think she would have wanted to. But
Yeah.
they get to know each other pretty well. They do something interesting though. Nate and MC, they agree to try and finish the challenge, and then when they get down to their like last bag, leave it halfway down the beach and go look for the advantage.
Yeah.
And then they
Very
don't
smart.
find it, so they come back and finish the challenge.
Which was very smart because what's the most important thing in Survivor?
Not getting voted out.
Well, yes, but I was going to say having a vote.
I know what you were looking for. I'm just being difficult.
You're the least difficult person that I've talked to today. It's okay.
That means nothing to me. I know who the other person was.
I'm just talking about my work, but
Oh, I thought it was someone you usually talk to before recording with me. And if I'm less difficult than him, that means nothing. So we go back to Kella Beach, and Sage wants to work with the OG Hina people and the new Kella.
Which is smart because Sage was at the bottom of her old alliance.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great move for Sage. To make it known that it's not two, that I want Shannon out, that she never trusted Shannon whatsoever, and that Shannon never trusted her.
Yeah.
And therefore, we've already seen Matt go out, and that cost the old Hina a number. So if Sage can help them get rid of an old Uli, it's going to help balance out the game going into merge.
Well, plot twist. After this episode, another old Hina goes home. So
yeah,
even if Sage joins Hina, if we merge next week, Uli still has numbers at this point. So that could get interesting. So
yeah, very true.
We go to Hina, and Savannah is telling us how like she's not even talking game in some conversations, and she can tell Jawan is listening in on her conversations.
She's just such a good player.
She is, and he's been getting on her nerves since like day 2 And my note with this was just she might kill him eventually.
Yep. Especially if he decides to take a third item of hers, not sure what that would be.
Yeah.
I'm fully expecting at some point to see a Savannah Jawan issue, like Abby Maria and was it Shireen?
Yeah. And the dumb bracelet thing.
Yeah, that it's gonna move on now from that's my bag to that's my canteen to next thing you know, if they have any out there, it'll be Jawan using Savannah's personal items.
Oh my gosh.
What's next? Jawan wears Savannah's clothes.
I don't need that mental image.
No, I don't either.
So we go to the challenge and we're playing for reward and it's chickens. Classic
It's
Survivor
chickens.
reward.
Long time no see, but glad they're
I
back.
thought we haven't seen them for a while. Then I started second guessing myself, so I didn't write it down. But the way
No, we
this
haven't seen them for a bit.
the way this challenge works is the whole tribe must swim out to a cage that's in the water. And we're starting on this platform in the water. So we're swimming in. We get to this cage. Everyone has to get in the cage and untie these poles that they're going to use to carry the giant cage through the water up to the beach and up onto the beach to a certain spot where one person then digs themselves out and retrieves these balls that they throw into the cage. And their tribe mates in the cage have to throw them into these baskets high up in the air. This was a cool challenge.
It was a cool challenge.
And it doesn't end in a puzzle, so I appreciate that. Nothing against puzzles. It's just we went a while there where every challenge ended in a puzzle. So
yeah. But yeah, well, that happens, and then Hino wins again. No, they're Kelly now. Am I mixing up colors?
No, Kella's blue. Kella did win.
Yeah, Kella won.
Smart on Christine during the challenge looking for an idol at the sit-out bench.
Apologies to the audience. I am probably getting mixed up in which colors cease to exist because I'm also, well, I mean, you're going to assume this, but I'm rewatching probably a season that I've rewatched many times lately where they use the same three colors and one ceases to exist.
Yes, and what season is that?
32, the season that I'm about to go to.
You like season 32? What?
No shit. I'm watching both.
But that blunt of a reaction was not what I was expecting. That was hilarious.
I'm watching both Cambodia seasons before I go to Cambodia.
31's better.
That's your opinion. You're entitled to it.
You'd say.
I mean, I've been telling a friend that he's entitled to his opinions for days.
No,
so that answer is on my mind.
Don't compare me to him. I don't like where that's heading.
Okay.
So, yes. Kella does win. And this is where I wrote down, is Sophie B going to be Denise and just go to every tribal all season going to the end?
It's possible. Denise did it.
Denise is the only one, I think.
If you count going to tribal every episode and not one where they forced both tribes to go to tribal, Michelle did it.
On 40?
Oh, no, she didn't. She went to tribal in every show. That's what it is.
Oh.
On 40.
I want to say, because 30. I know it wasn't 32. She never went pre-merge in 32. Which is also wild to think
Never
about
pretty
that.
much. Yeah, it was a
I
total
think that's
opposite.
pretty rare also. But I'm not a huge Denise fan, but her winning
Yeah,
despite
it is
going
very,
to
very few.
literally every tribal the entire season is nuts.
The only tribals that Michelle didn't go to in 40, I believe, were the one that Sandra goes home and the one that Amber goes home, which were in episodes that she went to tribal.
Was the first episode a double tribal? Amber
Yeah.
went home
Well, it
second.
was not a double tribal, but there was two tribals in the same episode.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Both Amber and Natalie got voted out of the same show.
And Amber finished last place that season, technically.
Technically, you're correct.
Shout out to our first trivia episode there. And so, yeah, we get back to camp, whichever camp Steven and Alex are at.
Yeah. Kill it.
And they kill
the camp
one
Alex
of the
can never leave.
Do what?
The camp that Alex can never leave.
Watch them make that the merge camp.
They will. They will.
Or plot twist, we go back to Uli's camp for the merge, which has been abandoned for a few episodes now.
That could be possible.
I would vote for that.
I would too.
But it'll probably be Hina. They have the best camp. They have the hammocks and everything. But Steven and Alex kill a chicken, and we get this confessional from Alex talking about how people have called him soft and weak over the years, and basically says at the end of this, if you've called me that, what now? Are you killing chickens on Survivor? Kind of a cool moment for him. I love that for him.
Yeah, it was a cool moment for him. Definitely nobody should go through that kind of treatment from other people. So I really like that. Once again, we also get chicken dilemma. Maybe not as serious as like a Kimmy or a Wendy, but Shannon's certainly becoming weirdly attached to these animals.
It's not as bad as it usually is. Like she did her thing, and then she was okay.
I was gonna say it's not as bad as Ty, but
we didn't have that Kimmy or Wendy that just makes it everyone's problem.
Yeah.
So we go back to Hina Beach, where Nate and Rizzo and Savannah talk about wanting to make Jason feel comfortable so he doesn't play his shot in the dark.
That they do. They're playing Survivor, where at the same time, Jason and Jawan, who both seem to be on the bottom, are talking about Pokemans.
It's so good. I love that a little contrast like that. But they have that conversation, and the very next thing that we see, my note got messed up. Here we are. Is Savannah gives us a confessional and talks about how maybe not sending Jason home so that Hina doesn't see this as an all-out war between original Hina and original Uli, which my original thought was the ship has sailed. They already think that.
Exactly.
But she makes a good point here, and she makes a smart move. She tells Jason she wants to work with him and basically gives him the words to say that he says to everyone else, that he's the connecting line between old Hina and new Hina. And he could be the one that sets up people working together.
Yeah.
So, a good attempt by her here.
That was a good attempt.
So, yeah. And then that's the last note I have before Tribal. Do you have anything else?
Not anything before. I do have a tribal comment I want to make today, though.
What you got?
You ready for tribal?
Yeah.
Jeff, why do you need to reinstigate things that have already been litigated on Survivor Twitter for the last 5 years? We already know that everybody has an opinion on 26 days. There's no need to make new era players have to echo production's opinion in against old era players in the middle of the show when we all know that there's going to be a sufficient new era contingent and old era contingent on 50. Just let everybody think what they want. It's a free country.
Yeah, I agree with you. But also, I don't know if it's happened yet this season, but at least once a season, the past couple of seasons, we get Eliza complaining about how much easier 26 days is versus 39 at some point. So I guess this kind of balances that out. We hear from
not
both
to
of them
get too
about
much
it
into
every season.
non-survivor, but I think Eliza has a lot more things to complain about on the internet than 26 days right now.
No, right now, yes, but you know what I'm saying is true. That she,
Yeah,
even Jam Jam,
but that's what I'm
point when this happened last season was like, give it a rest.
Which both sides are fair, but my point is, production shouldn't be giving loaded questions in tribal that forces Jawan to defend 26 days. It's over. We've already litigated this. We recognize 39 days isn't coming back. Everyone's got an opinion on it. That's the end.
Plot twist for the eventual final season, they bring 39 back for one season.
They bring 42 back and put it in the Australian outback instead of Fiji.
I mean, if we're changing location for the last season, it kind of has to be Borneo, doesn't it?
The island in Borneo is a hotel, is the resort right now.
Well, Survivor's not going off the air anytime soon. We have plenty of time to tear that down.
Good enough.
And it doesn't have to be the exact same islands, but somewhere in Borneo, if you're changing location for the final season.
That's fair.
That has to be it.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been to the hotel on the original Survivor Island.
No, I have not been to the hotel on the original Survivor Island. I have looked at cruises that go right past it, and none of them have ever fit my itinerary. I've never been to Indonesia nor Malaysia nor anything in that part of the world, so I'll get there someday.
Borneo.
Borneo is in half in Indonesia and half in Malaysia.
I thought it was its own country.
No.
What is it then?
The northern part is in Malaysia and the southern part is in Indonesia.
So if it's not a country, what is it? Is it just a city?
It's an island.
Oh.
It's one of the biggest islands in the world.
Okay. That's why I thought it was a country. It's not connected.
And then Palutiga, where the first season was filmed, is another island that's like just off the coast of Borneo, which is a massive island.
So there's places in the world that you haven't been?
I haven't been to probably 98% of the world.
Huh. As much travel as you do.
I've been to about
everywhere at this
I've
point.
been to about 24% of the countries in the world if you count stepping foot in the country as been to the whole country.
I feel like that counts as you having been in that country.
I've been to one city in Russia, which is the biggest country in the world. So
you've been to Russia.
I have, but I haven't seen much of the country, and I'll never be able to go back. So
go visit Siberia for a week or so.
Before 2022, I wanted to do the Trans-Siberian Railway, which would have been taking a train for 8 days straight from Vladivostok to Moscow.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
That means you would have really been seen a lot of Siberia.
So, do we want to dive into Align Blindside First Boot?
Yeah, let's dive into Align Blindside First Boot.
Oh, by the way, Jason goes home at Tribal for the audience. Predictable result, as has been most of the season.
The names that I am going to give you, one is Jawan from this season. The other two are Drew Balsillie from 45 and Xander from 41. Do you want to know what theme this is?
Sure.
Drew and Xander both listed in their bio that they're competitive Pokemon players.
Yeah, that tracks.
It does.
I am going to...
And I mean, let's be honest, Jawan is probably a Pokemon player too, so...
I am going to first boot Mr. Drew Basile because he's super smart guy. I feel like I might lose if I go to the end.
Yeah.
But I feel like he might hold it against me if I blindside him. So,
yeah.
And I'm going to blindside Jawan because it's been proven you can go to the end with Xander and win.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on all three of those. How I came up with this was literally just that conversation. I'll tell the audience, I was really into Pokemon when I was younger, and they were having a conversation, and I'm like, I don't know any of these Pokemon. I played the red version and the yellow version.
Huh.
It seems like that universe has gone from 101 off to like thousands based on these names that the two of Jason and Jawan were coming up with.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Okay.
That's all I know is there's a lot of different monsters. So, remind me again, your bottom three seasons. It's Fiji, Nicaragua, and what's the third one?
Fiji, Nicaragua, and what one would I put in there?
I had 39 in my head for some reason.
Palau.
Oh, Palau. You're lower on that than I am. And
I'm probably lower on Palau than almost everybody. But I'm very low on seasons that just have a complete one-sided result. And all three of those have a very one-sided result.
Yeah. So you get Brenda Lowe. You get, I'm looking up the last name, Michelle Yee. I was right.
Nice.
And you get, let me pull this up real quick, Katie Gallagher.
Interesting. I'm going to align with Katie because of what she does now and not because of anything to do with the show.
What does she do?
Katie is an executive producer on the challenge.
Oh, wow.
She's like second to TJ Lavin on that show.
How did I not know that? That's wild.
I don't know, but like Sarah Lacina did interviews of being in the final of USA 1, and she's like, Katie is in charge of the whole USA 1, or of the whole final, and all the other dailies and stuff.
Interesting.
So I definitely want to align with Katie just because I want to pick her brain in terms of that world that I also podcast on. I'm going to blindside Michelle Yee, who seems very friendly, very easy to get along with, and that leads me to first boot Brenda Lowe, who's probably the best player of the three. And you don't want Brenda asking you a question at Final Tribal because it might go very badly.
Well, if you don't act like Dawn and just completely like get emotional and pretend you're going to quit and then turn around and vote someone out right after they're super nice and take pity on you.
Yeah.
This is one of my Survivor, I think, unpopular opinions. I don't feel bad for Dawn there. I don't feel like
I don't either.
Did anything that Dawn didn't have coming. Is it a sucky thing to do? Yeah, kind of. Did Dawn absolutely have that coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't love either side there. I'm also first booting Brenda. She's a terrifying player. And I'm going to the end with Katie, not because of the challenge, because it's been proven that you can win sitting next to her at the end. So, and blindsiding Michelle, because she seems super nice, but she's kind of the wild card that I know the least about here.
Fair. at least the one thing that I know with Michelle that you and I would have in common with her is she's a Swiftie.
Oh, interesting. I
So
didn't
there's a
know that.
bonus. She went to the O's tour with Eliza and Claire in Vegas.
Nice. That's a weird trio.
Yeah,
Claire from 44.
44.
Interesting. Well, check out the other Reality Realm stuff. Pit Stop Pals, New Generation Challengers, Redbubble merch store. And with that being said, grab your torches and head back to camp. Bye, everyone.
Good night.